Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sports Savvy TV. Now let's get straight to it, people. Boy. The NFL will look a lot different next season. A lot of new head coaches. Let's talk about it, NFL fans. Let's start with the New York Jets. They hired Aaron Glenn, Texas guy, first-time head coach, turned the Detroit Lions defense around. Good candidate for that job. But if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. I truly believe that Aaron Glenn is going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. He's going to draft a quarterback or he's going to bring in a quarterback. It makes sense. And I think he's going to move on for Davante Adams. You know, Davante Adams is a diva. Aaron Glenn is coming there to build his own culture. And I don't think he wants Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers a part of it. You know. Plus, Aaron Glenn, he still has to build his staff out. I don't really see the Jets doing anything this upcoming season. They're going to be competitive. You know, they got a stout defense, a okay run game when they do hand the ball to Hall. But they need a quarterback. You can't really judge this team until they get a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not the guy. Aaron Rodgers feel like he's bigger than the head coach. It's not going to work. It's just not, people. Aaron Glenn is a good guy, but he ain't going to take no crap from anyone. He's being paid all that money to turn this team around, get the team in the playoffs, and to make runs in the playoffs to try to make the New York Jets relevant again, you know? If you find yourself liking the video, like the video. Comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers. We all know the San Francisco 49ers was a disappointment. We all thought they would make the playoffs. Brock Purdy, they're going to have to pay him soon. But, you know, it seemed like the defense was the downfall most of the year. They bring back Robert Saleh. You know, some guys are just not meant to be head coaches. Robert Saleh is a good defensive coordinator. He was good cross there when he was there before, and I think he's going to come back cross there and do his thing. He still got guys on the team who were there when he was there the first time, so he's going to come right in and pick up where he lost. You know, you look at defensive coordinators who became head coaches who failed, like Romeo Crennel, like Ron Rivera, like Matt Patricia, like Dennis Allen. I could keep going, but y'all get my drift. You know, some guys are just meant to be coordinators. And I think that relationship that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh has is going to revive the San Francisco 49ers. And I can see the San Francisco 49ers improving the team and having a big year next year. Robert Saleh is going to draft some guys to add to that defense, and I think they're going to turn it around, folks. Be on the lookout for them 49ers, folks, because they're trending upward. When Robert Saleh was with Shanahan, that was a beautiful combination. Shanahan ran the offense, Robert Saleh ran the defense. You know, players would run through a wall for this guy, and I'm glad to see he's back in a situation where he can do his thing. Being the head coach of the New York Jets, that was too much for him. You know, his heart is a defensive guy. When you have to oversee everything, it's just too much for folks, you know. It's not a knock on him. You are who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get to the Las Vegas Raiders. We all know Tom Brady is making moves across there. He wants the Las Vegas Raiders to be competitive. He done paid all that money, you know. He's not coming there just to look around and look at the Chiefs and the Broncos do their thing. He want to compete with them guys. But, man, for one, in my opinion, getting Pete Carroll was a horrible move. He's 73 years old. When the season starts, he's going to be 74 years old, the oldest coach in NFL history. In my opinion, once coaches reach 70 years old, they shouldn't be coaching. Enjoy your life, man. On that sideline stressing, that's not good for anyone. You know what I'm saying? Pete Carroll, two-time national champion in college, if I'm not mistaken. And he won a championship with Seattle. Should have won two. They couldn't wait to get him out of Seattle. He'd been waiting to get back into the NFL. I'm not sure this is the right move because when you look at the Las Vegas Raiders, they're the worst team in the AFC West. They easily the worst team. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 years to turn this team around. He only signed the 3-year deal. So how I'm looking at it, this is just a patch job. Once his contract up, they're going to hire someone else. They just bringing in Pete Carroll to set the tone, to try to build the culture cause there. Plus, Pete Carroll is a defensive guy too. So his focus is going to be on the defensive side. What you going to do about the offense? Pete Carroll never really been an offensive guy. I think he only got this job because Tom Brady's cool with this guy. And no one really wanted the Las Vegas Raiders job. It's not really a, exciting job when you think about it. I think the Raiders, they missed out on all the guys who they were looking at. And, once all the candidates start to fall, you got to eventually take what's left. It's 30 teams in the NFL. There's not many candidates like that. Yeah, you could go hire somebody who's not qualified for the job, someone who's young, who you try to put a lot of faith in, who you think can handle the job. They didn't want to go that route, so they went with the oldest guy in NFL history. I don't think this is going to end out well for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not against old guys at all. I just think he's a little too old for the job. And he's going to be competing in one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. You're going to be going up against Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh. Like, come on, man. That's going to be tough. Tough. I hope he's ready for the job because it's going to be a hard one. Next, let's move on. Now, this here, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, you don't want to hear this here, but I speak the truth, folks. This is kind of disgusting. Ben Johnson left the Detroit Lions to go to their rivals, the Chicago Bears. Not only that, he's taking the whole staff with him, which means that's going to cripple the Detroit Lions. I don't care how much talent they got. The team is only as good as the coaches. Coaches are a main part of teams. They just signed, the Bears are bringing Antoine Randall L to be the assistant coach, who was the wide receivers coach with the Detroit Lions, to the Bears. Not only that, he's bringing JT Barrett, who was the quarterback coach, over to the Bears to help Caleb Williams. That's insane, man. The Detroit Lions going to have to replace all that. And 9 times out of 10, the guys they bring in going to have to bring in different schemes. Some of the players on the team going to have to go, going to have to adjust their game, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to play the same scheme that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn played. This is a tough situation for the Detroit Lions. They window for winning a championship has probably closed, thanks to Jaden Daniels and thanks to Ben Johnson. This is insane. I'm hoping the Lions could still be competitive, make the playoffs, do their thing. But, man, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be real tough. Next, This is probably why you're here. Let's talk about them Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Man. Jared Jones and Stephen Jones has done it again. They done set their organization back for years. This was a panic move. You know, Jerry Jones hired this guy because no one wanted the job. Deion wasn't going to take the job because he wasn't going to have the power he needed and the control he needed. If you know anything about the Cowboys since the 90s with Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones wants all the credit. He wants to be up front. He wants credit for everything. He will not sit back in the shadows and let the coaches do their thing. He hired this guy because he can control him, because he's going to be a puppet. You know, this guy he interviewed twice for this job. Why do you have to interview a guy twice if he's been in your building for 2 years already? That's crazy. When this guy was with Seattle, he was like the offensive coordinator, but he ain't really call plays like that. He's not really good. The only reason he got this job is because he's cool with Dak. Dak likes him. This was just a horrible hire. This guy has never been in no discussion for a head coaching job at all. Must I remind you, this is the son of Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer, RIP, but he was an okay coach. He was known for not winning the big games. And now you're going to hire his son to turn around the Dallas Cowboys, who are in panic mode. Philly and the Commanders that took over this division. You asking him to turn this team around and compete with that? I don't think it's going to happen, folks. You know what's going to be sad, though? If the New York Giants are better than the Cowboys, then everyone is really going to panic. This guy was on the team. You know, he was like an assistant to Mike McCarthy. He never called plays, though. He was just there. Lame duck coach. That's crazy, man. Now you're giving him total control to turn his team around. Not only that, I'm hearing that he wants to call plays. So this is going to be another Mike McCarthy situation. And once this guy failed, you know who the Cowboys going to hire? The ball boy. They're going to give the ball boy opportunity. You know why? Because Jerry Jones can control him. It's sad, man. This guy wants another championship before he leave us. But, bruh, he ain't going to get it doing this here, man. This was just an awful hire all around the board for the Dallas Cowboys, man. Real talk. Brian Schottenheimer been in the NFL since like 1998 and never sniffed a head coaching job, man. This is like a Dave Campbell hire. It won't work, man. You know it's bad. Kellen Moore turned down the job, and he was with the organization a few years ago. Jared Jones know Brian Schottenheimer he wasn't getting any offers. He hired this guy so he can control him, man. That's sad, bro. How a guy can really destroy a franchise because of his ego. Like, man, the Cowboys going to be third or fourth in the division once again. Not only that, Jared Jones is cheap. I feel he didn't really want to get a big name like that because he didn't want to pay him. Jared Jones is cheap. I'm calling it for what it is, folks. He's a cheap owner who don't know what he's doing, and he need to step down. The Cowboys won't be great again until this guy is not the owner. Now, I know a lot of folks are mad about Brian Schottenheimer, but I think they got it right with Matt Eberflus. I think he's a good defensive coach. Like I mentioned earlier, some guys are just not meant to be head coaches. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Matt Eberflus is going to have the Dallas Cowboys defense top 15, top 16 in the league, folks. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you know when I drop new content. With that being said, this Sports Savvy TV, I see you on the next one, people. Stay blessed out there.